to the virtual and to everyone, and welcome to There You Go. Welcome to the Virtual Advantage Live show. I'm François Lantier, co-founder of Innovate Virtual Assistant, with Charmy Galang joining us, also co-founder of Innovate. And today we're talking about website optimization. So Charmy and I, before coming on air, we had this conversation about websites. And Charmy, maybe tell us about 7 years ago, what was going on with websites where you were?
Well, yeah, I remember this was 7 years ago because I worked for the investing side of the bank, and a lot of the traders they use their phone, so they switched that every time they did something different, it would be mobile first, and then they would change it in the desktop because they knew most of the clients were going on mobile. So I think that's one of the things we want to really emphasize. Like when you're creating a website, the mobile aspect of it is very important.
It really is, because think about it. You got your phone with you pretty much wherever you go. And a lot of people, this is not new, like 7 years ago, as you
I know.
mentioned. But oftentimes we look at websites on our desktop while we're designing it, which is nice. Of course, you need it. But really, you should look at it on your phone first. Yes, there's like responsive, there's websites that adapt, but most people, 85% of traffic is actually from their phone.
Yes.
And then if they want to see something bigger or more interaction, then people will open their computer and go, or a tablet. So it's mobile first, phones, tablets, then computers. So very
Yeah.
important when you're working with your team to talk about that. And that's part of optimizing your site too. It should be, yeah, mobile first. And
Yeah, it's very different, right? Mobile first is so the way it looks and the way it's easy to read, especially if your clients are the younger generation. I think most of them don't even look at their desktop. They don't know
no,
what a desktop is anymore, but
oh, pretty much. And I think that's the way of the future. More and more laptops have parts that separate. It's like a tablet slash computer. So it's very
yeah,
important to think about that. And that's going to dictate as well your photography, your video content. How is it filmed? Is it optimized again for mobile first? So those are all things you have to think about while you're creating your website.
yes,
Logo as well. So if you have this fancy logo that's huge, it's got all kinds of things on this tiny little screen, it's not going to look that great, or it's going to be like this and you can't read it. So
yeah,
something, Charmy, you like a lot is kind of clean lines, easy to read. And on
exactly.
mobile, I think it really helps.
That's it. I find it's just as easier. Like the cleaner, the simpler, the faster it is for the client to really know what you're doing. It's nice to have like different things, but for business, I find it's easier. And when you go on the website, you don't want to be spending so much time real looking for something, right? And that's why I like the simple and minimalist look. It helps the clients
That's
find that information faster too.
Yeah, the user experience, that's a big one too. Like, where are the buttons? Are your menus easy to follow? Especially on mobile, some of them have some weird menus. You have to find the drop down, or there is
I
no
know.
drop down, things like that. So you're like, it's frustrating. So yeah,
Yeah.
how are your menus, and fast loading too? So you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to get too heavy. Videos and stuff you should embed from like YouTube or other
Right.
platforms, Vimeo, and not directly on your site, because it does make your site heavier and slower loading. There's ways around it, but find
It's
ways
true.
to make it optimal.
Yeah, no, exactly. And we're speaking of content. Francois and I were talking about this as well. Content is very important, like the wording on your website, right, Francois?
Yes. Yeah, keywords. So like for
Mm-hmm.
us, Innovate Virtual Assistant, we use the word virtual assistant, VA, things like that quite often. There's SEO, it's still quite relevant. Our
Yes.
team is well versed in SEO as well. So, and that's a living thing as well, because once you launch a website, your website will evolve like ours. How
Mm-hmm.
many iterations have
Yeah,
we done, Charmy?
I know, but it's very normal because your business will evolve, right? So,
Exactly. And it's
yeah.
actually good for the search engine too, because Google and other search engines want fresh content, you have to let the search engines know. So there's some back end stuff that needs to be done, but you
Yes.
need to let them know there's a new video, there's a new post, a new blog, things like that, and then you start ranking higher as well.
Yeah, but it also has to be a value, right? Because they can tell. So
Yes.
if something that you're always writing is like just writing, it's not gonna look.
No, no, no.
But you have to really do take the time to make sure that every blog that you're writing is its value, because it will rank higher as well. So those are a lot of things to consider when you're creating a website. And like Francois was saying, this is one thing. Like I find something people really need to, think ahead. Your website is a living being. It's gonna have to change
Yeah.
all the time, and then that's why we have our team as well. And it's a service we offer at Innovate, right, Francois? And it's funny, when we started the company, that was the first thing we did, actually create a website for a
Yes.
client.
But it's like it's your
Yeah. So.
storefront. If you don't have
Mhm.
that website, people don't know you. Yes, you could use social media for a while, like Facebook or Instagram, but you
Right.
don't own that space. What if
Exactly.
Facebook decides all images are now ovals and everything's done in rectangles? Well, now you got to redo it. While your website, you own it, so it's yours to keep, and you can do lots of things with your website, Charmy. You're the
Yeah.
queen of pop-ups and events and things. So what can you do with that?
Yeah, no, for sure. So on my website, if you ever check my website, charmync.com, every time I have an event, there's a pop-up. And this is one thing too, like you have more control on your website. And like Francois said, when you're in other social media, you never know what they're gonna do. You have no
Yeah,
control in it. And we see this in Facebook and Instagram, right? The analytics changes all the time. So it's like one thing that will be working, and then all of a sudden they decide to change something. It's not working anymore. But at least your website, you have more control, and it's a home for your clients, and you can do all the different things you want. And like for me, that's what I do. I have a pop-up that every time I have an event, and there's a lot of strategic things you can do on your website as well, right? You too, Francois, right? Like when you create your website, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. That's what's nice, because you own that place.
yes. And you own the list as well. So the people that start signing up on your website, emails, phone numbers, there's gold in there. A lot of people overlook that. They're like, oh, I'm just going to do a website. It's information. I'm not going to gather names or anything. That is a big mistake. As you
Right.
mentioned, oh, I have tons of Facebook followers. What if Facebook decides, oh, you can't see who follows you anymore? Like Instagram, they had
Exactly.
stopped likes or something. They hid some of those features. So it's
Yeah.
great. Social media is an awesome tool, but it's owned by Meta, a huge corporation. So
Yeah.
you want to own your real estate
Yeah.
in on the internet, and yeah, the website domain. There's all kinds of optimization there too. A lot of people buy different domain names. Like us, we have innovatevacorp.com. I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember, but some people could buy innovatevacorp.ca and other
CO.
domains
Yeah, there's
just
a
to be
lot. Yeah,
safe.
that's
And you
true.
could redirect traffic too. So like your Charmy NC, if you notice people always misspell your name, I'm gonna throw something out there. They put an
Yeah.
S in there somewhere. So you
Yeah.
could buy that domain and redirect traffic as well, because you want to make it easy and seamless for your user. And that goes back to earlier you were talking about user experience, Charmy,
Mhm.
ease of finding things and all that.
That's it. And then actually, that's why SEO is actually very powerful, right? So if you create your website properly, the SEO will help clients go to your website, and those are the clients that they're actually looking for you instead of the other way around. And that's an easier way to sell your products, your services, and always looking for clients. So that's another thing when you have a website that you can do. If you do it properly, the clients will find you instead of you always finding clients.
And you want, like in marketing now, we're in the era of pull marketing, not push. So pull is
Yeah.
more people see you, they like your smile. Okay, I want to find out more. And then they self-inform themselves. They take a look, they read through your blogs, they watch your videos, they consume the guides that you have. So that's another thing we didn't enter into, but all of this editing, if you're a solopreneur, a coach, a real estate investor, or whatever, I mean,
Mhm.
you can't do it all. Like Charmy,
No.
it's a lot of work.
I know. And you don't, it's not even that you can do it all. Even if you try doing it, you won't be as good. So
No, that's it. You can't master everything. Like, let's say you're a chef and you're great at French cuisine. Well, it doesn't mean you know how to do Moroccan cuisine. Like, you have specialties, and you should focus on those. And of course, you have your touch and all that. So,
hmm,
like your website, Charmy, and ours at Innovate and mine, there's a certain style that
yeah,
you want to develop. But then as you continue, because you need to continually create content like we're doing right now,
yes.
you need a team to help you because you create it, but then it's a lot of work. Like you need to put this on the site. This episode here will be turned into a podcast. Where does
Mhm.
that reside? So people consume media in various ways, and
Yeah,
everything needs to be optimized as well. So there's the
for
website, but
sure.
all the other elements as well.
And that's what's nice if you work with our team is that we can do everything from A to Z with you. You know, we can help you create your website, look at the optimizing it as well. And then if you have a blog or videos, they can edit that as well. And then, you really maximize anything that you create instead of always focusing on one thing. You can actually, that's what Francois was saying, right? We're doing this, it's for content, it's going to help for SEO, and then we're going to do a podcast. There's a lot of things you can do with one thing that you've done once, but having a team to do all of those steps, it's so much better than doing it by yourself because it could take it's just video editing, Francois. How long does it take you?
Oh, it could take like a 5 minute video could be all day, depending on how much you
Yes.
want to do, like splice things and all that. So that's the nice part is you create like here we're gonna create a piece of content, maybe 15 minutes I think today. But let's say you
Yeah,
do 30 minutes. Out of it, you can create probably 10 or 15 elements. You can find segments, and then our team helps reposition it. Like Charmy, we have one I saw this morning on our WhatsApp group from the team, and they started quoting us from another live that we did. They found golden
yes,
nuggets. We can use that because the attention span of the audience is very short now. Most people, it's 5 seconds or less. So
exactly.
got to be quick. You need to have a hook, and
Yeah.
longer form like we're doing, you don't have that hook every 2 seconds because it'd be a little aggressive.
No, exactly. And I think what's nice is that you spend 15 minutes in this thing, but there's going to be different elements of it. For example, Instagram, it's very short Instagram. So we can't put
Yes.
this video. Well, I mean, you can put in Instagram, but
Yeah.
it's not what Instagram likes. That's the other thing too, right? Every every social, they're all different. There's things that it like Instagram likes reels, and right now that's what it
Yeah.
is. So
And again, that goes back to your website. You could link back to those, and it creates
mhm.
traffic both ways. How do you optimize the connection to your social media? Because the
Yes,
goal is you use social media to amplify your message, but then you want people to go to your website. You're kind of creating that net. Then
yeah,
you capture their information, and then you market to them whatever you're selling or offering. And there's
exactly.
ways to optimize that. Like we said, the pop-ups,
Yes.
maybe to be more discreet. Maybe it's not a pop-up, but there's like sign in today or register or save your seat or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, there's so many different things, but definitely I would say if you have a business or if you really want people to know who you are, you need a website. You need that home that you have the control of your brand. You have a home that you can get the email list as well. That's another thing, right? It's very important that email list because that's yours.
It really is. So if you want to find out more, check out innovatevacorp.com. We have packages to help you. So Charmy, maybe you can tell us more about the different packages we have to help business entrepreneurs, because businesses and entrepreneurs, a lot of people don't know. They think of VA, okay, I'm not sure what they do. So what can
Yeah.
they do?
For sure. So we have two business bundles. I'll talk about one of them. Is the business bundle, the business accelerator. So what's nice with this is that we know how it is as an entrepreneur, right? So the business bundle includes 40 hours of VA assistance, but it also includes coaching with me or Francois. So we know what you need. So we can guide you and the team. So if we know that you're building a business, there's a website you have to create. We can already guide you and the team. So you have a whole team and a coach that's gonna guide you along the way. It's a 4-month contract, and honestly, clients who have used the service have really appreciated it because you have 40 hours, not just in the technical things like website, but if you need at some point bookkeeping, that's part of that as well, operations. So definitely, it's great when you're, and it's nice because you're working with specialists too, eh, Francois? It's not like they're
Yes.
generalists. They each, and that's why
No.
we have different types of VA, because they're very good at what they do, so that they don't, imagine me or you and me actually bookkeeping. I was talking about this yesterday in my master class. I'm like, because I was talking about VAs, I'm like, like people always say it's also because you want to, yeah, you want to, you don't want, there's two things you're going to save. One is that you're going to save the headache and the stress if there's something that you don't like to do. And also the other thing is that not only you're delegating that, but they're also doing it a lot faster. So
They
you're
because
saving
that's all
time.
they yeah, that's all they do. They save you time. So
Yeah.
it's the same for the website optimization. You're going to spend hours looking
Mhm.
for a widget. Let's say you're on WordPress.
Yes.
WordPress is famous or infamous for widgets that need to be updated, sometimes daily, sometimes
Yes.
multiple times a day, depending if you do e-commerce. Get a
Yes.
VA to do it. Don't do it yourself. Like spend time on the bigger items that bring in the revenue and those little tasks. Not that they're not important, they are very important, but get
Right.
someone else to do it so you can bring in more money and free yourself out of this. I
Yeah.
shared earlier in one of my accountability group
Yeah.
quadrant on how to decide if something is important but not urgent, things like that.
Right.
The Eisenhower
Eisenhower. Yes.
billionaire box. Check it
Matrix.
out. Really helps. So website widgets, updates, things like that, you shouldn't touch it. It should be someone else. Unless you're a web developer yourself, then
Yeah.
maybe, yeah. Maybe you've got a vested interest there.
But then you probably need something else, right? Maybe you need copywriting or something. There's always something that we're very good at. So that's I think that's what I'm emphasizing, is that there's focus on this, on your strength, and focus on doing that, and then the other things you can really easily delegate.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's it for this week. We hope this was helpful. We'd love to hear about your websites, your questions that you may have. And we're open to suggestions for like topics and things. If you have a certain question about what a
Right.
VA can do for you or a website, our team is here to help. We do have our free community on Facebook as well. So Innovate Virtual Assistant community on Facebook. Join us. We have almost 400 members now. So
Yes.
it's really growing and people are helping each other out. And our VAs are there as well. So, and we share some great advice that we hope help you. So that's it. Have a great day. Have an
Yes.
awesome day, Charmy.
You too, Francois. Have an awesome day, everyone.
Take care. Cheers.
Bye.